Did you have a Valentine?
Yeah, I got a Valentine.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
These men do not understand my value, so I have to be on my own until then.
I understand that. I love that for you, actually.
Yeah, so I'm just being patient.
5 years ago, Brittany Renner was arguably the most talked about Instagram model in Black social media. She's funny, she's witty, controversial, hypocritical, but all at the same time. And it doesn't hurt that she is quite good looking, although she is a little thicker than she used to be, which a lot of brothers appreciate. However, Brittany Renner is now at the young age of 30 years old, going on to 31. And we start to see that things were not really going so well when she started showing up to PJ Washington's University of Kentucky basketball games. And the reason why is because she was much older than he was, which already meant that in 2017, she didn't have a lot of guys taking her that serious. And that is when we heard this particular Instagram rant that Brittany Renner had about athletes.
In my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb. I don't like talking about my history with men I'm dating, I guess until now, because most of the guys that I've dealt with are gonna have more money than you. And you're gonna feel a way about it. I know the male ego is fragile, like the ball sack that hangs in between your legs. Conclusion, like I don't even look at people as like trashy or not. It all comes down to mentality for me.
So there you go. Even in the prime of Brittany Renner's life, a lot of guys were just not taking her that serious. Fast forward, Demo! So let's go to a few weeks ago when she appeared on the Nyla Simone's YouTube channel. And the name of the podcast was called Brittany Renner Talks Coochie Strike, Knowing Her Value, Dating, Don'ts, and More. Stop the show. Boom. That is a long ass title. You need to learn how YouTube works. Seriously. But anyways, I want to play an excerpt from this podcast in which, Brittany Renner is now talking about that he has higher standards and she's on a sex strike and all of that. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
I think the last clip that I saw of you where you were saying about wanting to feel valued versus
desired and yeah,
and then you, like you said earlier, like no Valentine today because these people don't know my value. So what are some things that I guess you have been implementing for yourself that's like your new standards?
I'm not entertaining meaningless conversations. So whether that's text message or FaceTime, I do not entertain men out of boredom. I have been on a pussy strike since October.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and I'll go the rest of 2023 if nobody wants to act, right? And not seeing people through the rose-colored glasses anymore, because I think a big part of me was like, maybe if I just hang on just a little bit longer and get to know him and put forth more effort, then maybe I'll get a better outcome. But a lot of guys, I'm learning, he's just not that into me. So I just take the message for what it is. In their actions, you can typically tell how they feel about you. So I don't fight that anymore.
Two things. So you talked about the meaningless conversation thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, especially when you're used to just always having comfort, whether it's actually like a physical person or just the call, it's really hard to disconnect from that. Like, have you found, I guess, like, have you found a way or like a tribe that helps you overcome that feeling?
No, I think I just have accepted that I'm entertaining something in the short term that I have no desire to really water for the long term. So it's like, why would I lead this person on or entertain them for, out of boredom when these are someone's feelings that are involved? So for me, it's like, yes, it's waking up to no text messages and not having a Valentine on Valentine's Day. But I think it's for the greater good of us both, because I don't want to lead anybody on. And I don't believe in wasting anybody's time either. And typically after like one conversation, I can kind of tell if this guy is into me or I'm just wasting my time.
Okay.
One time.
After one conversation?
Absolutely. Because the questions that they ask and the questions they don't ask. There is a curiosity that I'm seeking. And if you don't naturally have it, it's because you don't care. You don't care to know. I know me, I don't have all the answers, but I got all the questions. And I'm getting into your favorite color the first time, first day. So
you kind of heard that she's saying certain things that a lot of women say, like, I'm going to continue to be on this sex strike if nobody acts right. That sounds very familiar to, let's say, somebody that joins church and they already have a kid or two kids, but they're born again and they've rededicated their life to God, and they're saying, church music, I'm not gonna give you any of this booty if you don't marry me and be a stepdad to my two kids. Which, I mean, that's that's actually laughable to a lot of eligible men, but I digress. But she also said that, she was used to dealing with guys and she would keep on dealing with those guys, hoping for a different outcome, but those guys wouldn't change. That's a good indication that Brittany Renner is a bad decision maker. The reason why, Brittany, you were staying with those guys, wanted them to change, is because those guys were not high quality people. And well, water seeks its own level, unfortunately. And well, that could be you. But here's something else. She did mention in that podcast that she doesn't like to let guys waste her time because she feels that a lot of those guys are not into her. She can tell now that guys don't take her serious. But wait a minute, Brittany, that was the case when you had to get with PJ Washington. Why don't guys take you serious? Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? The reason why guys don't take you serious, let me rephrase that. The reason why the guys you want to take you serious don't take you serious has a lot to do with your personal branding. Now, I want to talk about that because a lot of people, a lot of women, they think that, hey, if I, change my standards for the men that I want to be with, then I'll get better results, right? But let's just talk about, let's say, a company that sells bad quality phones like BlackBerry. BlackBerry doesn't really sell phones anymore, but they're terrible now in comparison to the other brands. BlackBerry used to be good, but they didn't change their technology. They didn't change their phones to catch up with today's time, or a Motorola Razr. So if BlackBerry says, imagine them, sad music, we're going to keep this phone the same, but nobody's buying it. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the prices on the phone, because these customers are not meeting our standards. What would you say? You would say that BlackBerry is stupid. Instead of BlackBerry looking at the market to say, what does the market want? What is the market looking for? What can I do? What can we do? All of that to get better customers. What can we do to extend our market share? But Brittany Renner doesn't have that approach, because if men don't take her serious, they need to act right to get her. But what are they going to get, Brittany? Like, that's what I want to know. Guys acting right, what are you going to give them? I mean, obviously, nothing. That's the whole point. Like, there is nothing that you're going to give these guys in return for them acting a certain way, because you haven't given that to anybody else, which is why those guys don't take you serious and they're not so into you. Because if they would be into you if you had something to offer. Because what do I keep telling you? The dating market is the world's only free market economy. And YouTube, by the way. The real dating market is the world's free market economy. You have to adjust to what people want in order to get what you want. When you're younger and you look better as a woman, it helps. But because there's so many good looking women out there and there's very few eligible men that women want, you have a lot of competition, and you're not going to be able to say, hey, you know what? I want these guys to act a certain way. Otherwise, I'm going to go on the sex strike. And the reality is, like, nobody gives a damn, right? Who cares? You're going to go on a sex strike, and that matters to who? Nobody. It doesn't matter. And the only reason why I'm talking about it because it's a teaching moment. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.